Tomorrow morning, there'll be lots of surprises, pleasant ones, we hope, capping off a year laden with surprises that were not all as welcome. This continues a notable post-crisis trend where surprises are so regular that they're being described as serial, where economists are being asked to consider just writing them into their models and businesses into their risk plans. Is our shock sensitivity subsiding? Are we now immune to the unusual? Has a grand attitude shift left us resigned to repeated events that are weakening the economy and eroding our hope? A key source of post-crisis hope was the rise of emerging market behemoths. Not only was their growth superior, it was resilient. This year changed that in a big way. Sanctions plunged Russia into deep recession. Internal mismanagement now has Brazil in freefall. South Africa is bracing for a commodity price backlash, while lack of policy progress in India has cast doubt on near-term performance. Then there's China. Wobbles in the data, reports of egregious economic excesses, and successive downgrades to the forecast have elicited serious questions about Sino-stability. The rapid currency depreciation in August brought China's struggles into focus. Perhaps a surprise in the battering of the BRICS this year is that we over-exalted economies that are still following the lead of the developed engine economies. In China's case, a lesson all over again that central planning can help the development process, but is certainly not invincible. Post-crisis hope was also placed in a large group of financial instruments. Decimated returns from regular investment activity diverted liquidity into equities. Bonds, high-risk, high-yielding ones, were very popular. Currency plays, other more marginal investment vehicles, and commodities. The ride lasted for a long time, but this year it came to an abrupt halt. Everyone was shocked by the extent of change and volatility, but maybe the surprise was that it took us by surprise. Or maybe the surprise is that this time, it's not about weakness, but the return of world growth. After all, the catalyst for this is Fed tightening. Itself not a surprise, although the delay in the decision is. Frustrated hope is in general nothing new. A young generation has been waiting over 7 years for the world to get back on its feet and engage them. Heightened frustration seems to manifest itself in surprising ways this year. For instance, how about the general rise in assertiveness? It has been a long time since countries outside of the OECD in general, or more specifically the NATO alliance, flexed their muscles, but this year saw new engagements by Russia, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. What is more, these have gone largely uncontested by established powers, possibly opening the door to others. Frustration has had other manifestations. Migrant crises are reportedly at an all-time high in terms of the planet's total count of displaced persons. Anger over terrorism that is closer to home is fomenting reaction that favors more assertive politics. Obvious in France, the UK, Germany, and also very obviously in the rancorous US election process. There are other reactions though. Take for example the COP21 talks in Paris. Discussions on environmental management have been underway for decades, with certain pivotal moments, but little consensus. Perhaps a surprise this time is the securing of consensus among 180 countries, the hallmark of the Paris Agreement. Time will tell whether this is a true game changer. It seems the global movement touched Canada in a big way this year. Beneficiaries of the resource boom, we were hit by tumbling prices early in the year and fears of recession. Key elections during the year brought huge change at the federal level. In Alberta, where the perennial Conservatives were upset, and in Newfoundland and Labrador, where the long-standing party was also shown the door. A surprise here? Canadians' apparent willingness to loosen the purse strings once again. The bottom line? Dulled by years of shock and low growth, it's hard to single out any key event as the surprise of 2015. But in this amalgam of events, there are ample clues of a growing decisiveness and determination to improve our collective lot. The timing may just jive perfectly with the economic cycle. Well, I'm Peter Hall, and thank you for being a part of the weekly commentary over this past year. The weekly commentary will return on January 14th, and I want to wish you from EDC very happy holidays and all the very best for a prosperous, healthy, and happy new year.